Hello, welcome to our webinar on tips for attending trade shows. My name is Kaylee. I'll be taking us through this webinar. Thanks for attending. Welcome to anybody who's coming back to our webinars, and welcome any newbies. Just a few things before we get started. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot those out in the text box. We'll get back to you if something's not addressed throughout the webinar. You can send us emails, or we'll respond to your question through an email. Whether you're new to the industry or veterans, all of this information we're going to go through today is absolutely useful. To my vets out there, some of this might be review, but we're going to be sure to cross all paths to make sure we're all getting the most out of this webinar, because trade shows are a business investment above all. And what we're going to discuss mostly is how trade show is not a vacation. Just because you get to go to a nice area like Long Beach or Florida, in no way, shape, or form are you going on a vacation. So let's get rolling here. First we'll do a quick little overview here. We are going to review where you start. So we'll review some industry trade shows and events, just some of the most popular ones to get you started in case you're not familiar, how to prepare for those. Once you arrive, what do you do? The trade show floor can be extremely overwhelming, so we'll go through step by step how to get ready for that. And then the follow-up afterwards. After all said and done, you've traveled, you're back home, what do you do with everything that just happened in those few days? All right, so industry trade shows and events. You guys will get a copy of this webinar at the end. All of these shows here are live links, so you can follow them and kind of get a better gist of what that show is about, see if it fits for your business needs. So we'll just go through each one real quickly over kind of what they focus on. Imprinted Sportswear Show, always referred to as ISS. You'll hear it abbreviated a lot. Same with all of these. Everything is kind of referred to as an abbreviation. So ISS is one of the largest trade shows dedicated to the decorated apparel industry. They're located nationwide. They do about 6 shows a year. National Business Media, referred to as NBM, they travel to 7 cities across the U.S. They primarily focus on of course, apparel decoration and then signing as well. Decorated Apparel Expo, referred to as DAX. It's one of the top-rated regional trade shows. They require no need to show any type of license or prove industry involvement. You can just pre-register and you're ready to attend. So if you're just getting started, that's a good one to start at. Advertising Specialty Institute, referred to as ASI. They primarily deal with promotional products. They have 3 popular trade shows a year. They're in really popular destinations, and they kind of are in strategic times of the year. Specialty Graphic Imaging Association, referred to as SGIA. They put on one huge show a year. Tons and tons of exhibitors there. Embroidery Mart, they put on a NNEP, National Network of Embroidery Professionals, focus on embroidery and apparel decoration. They have tons of education there as well. Promotional Products Association International, referred to as PPAI. It's one of the largest international promotional product show. It's 5 days long, and there's roughly maybe 1,300 or so companies there. All of these shows offer seminars and education, no matter which one you choose. And there's other shows besides these. I'm just touching on the popular ones, but they all offer education, which is huge. And then also, we will have all of our trade show events that we're going to on our website coming soon. So if you guys want to come see us, we love visitors. And let's keep rolling. So now we're going to talk about preparing to go to the trade show. So once you figure out which one's going to best fit your business needs, start to prepare travel, pre-register, packing. So first, let's start with travel. So you want to book your hotel early to take advantage of the early bird savings. The hotel prices are really inflated during the time of the trade show. When you're doing your research, you'll see a few days before, it'll be maybe less than $100 during the trade show. It could jump as much as an extra $100. You can find cheaper hotels out of the area or the city, but trade shows are super exhausting. You could probably benefit mentally from paying the extra money to house yourself closer to the center. I know when I go to trade shows, I love when we get the hotel that's right across the street from the convention center. You don't have to worry about waking up super early. You don't have to worry about grabbing a cab. You can just wake up, get yourself ready, and get right over to the convention center. Depending on weather as well, like when you're traveling, if you're far away, you need to, you're planning that taxi. If it's raining, it's just a big hassle. So what I'm getting at is planning, planning, planning. That's all we're going to be talking about is planning. So let's move down to pre-register. You're going to complete this on the website of whatever show you choose. This is where you're going to input your company's info. This is super, super important. So you'll get a badge that will be scanned by exhibitors. You get your badge, wear it on a lanyard. Exhibitors will scan it, and then that information, they'll get your company name, telephone number, email. So you want to make sure that those telephone numbers are your business telephone or wherever you want to receive those calls. Maybe it's your cell phone that's more convenient for you. Make sure the email you're putting in there is one you regularly check. Because you're going to start to see an increase in email marketing from the show providers and potentially some of the exhibitors. These are going to be loaded with tons of information about the show and specials offering that coincide with the attendance purpose that you fill out when you're registering. It'll ask you, besides your actual company information, it's going to ask, what are you trying to get out of this trade show? What do you want to, what do you want to focus on? And then that'll gear these emails that you'll start to get. So it might come off spammy, but just make sure you read them thoroughly because you can miss some really good information in there. And then packing your bag, getting ready to hop on that plane or hop in the car to go to your trade show. Make sure you're packing lightly and comfortably. You want to keep in mind that when you're walking the trade show floor, you're going to be gathering tons of literature, marketing materials, samples, promotional items. And you have to take all that back with you. So make sure you leave room in your suitcase for that. If I'm going to continue to stress, these will be long days on your feet in a convention hall. Concrete floors, sure, they make it look real pretty. They put carpeting down, really pull the look of the trade show together, but they can't fool your feet. And that's something you can bond with everybody on. If you're talking and networking, you feel a little uncomfortable, anybody will bond with you that your feet are killing you. It's a good icebreaker when you're networking out there. But you want to wear comfortable footwear, though, is all I'm getting at. Many attendees are going to wear their product to the show. So maybe a polo or a T-shirt with your company name on it, or maybe it's a graphic or a big seller for you. You wear it on the trade show floor, so then when you're talking to exhibitors, you can kind of show them, okay, this is what I do, this is what my product looks like, this is what it feels like, and then you can kind of start to get the conversation flowing that way. But that's what shows are all about. You never know when you could cross paths with a potential customer or a business partner on that floor. You guys are all there for similar reasons. A couple other action items to keep in mind during your planning stages is when does the registration area open and where is it located? This is where you need to go pick up your badge to gain entry to the show floor. They're usually handed out on lanyards, like I said, and you wear throughout the show, so don't be alarmed when people are going to start addressing you by your first name, like you've been old friends. It really is a friendly environment. Everybody's, it's really exciting. There's a lot of energy. If anything, you'll learn a lot. You want to determine when the show floor opens and closes as well. Because you're going to have a game plan and you're going to need to keep yourself on schedule. This is going to tie into you planning your transportation. Some shows will provide shuttles from the show hotels to the center. Because the trade show will partner with surrounding hotels and make deals with them for, to plan this transportation for you guys and make sure that it's, as easy as possible to get to and from. That's another perk of staying at the headquarter hotels. Typically shows end around 5 o'clock, so you can either plan to leave a little early to avoid the crowds, or you can plan on hitting a local restaurant so you can sit down, decompress, kind of reflect on your gatherings, and wait out the initial rush. When you arrive to the show and you obtain your badge, be sure to grab yourself a show floor map. These are available on the website as well, but you want to make sure you grab one on site. Things could have changed. There could have been last minute exhibitors that got added to the map. There could be people that were taken off. And since you're going to have a list of who you need to see, you want to make sure that you get the most updated information. Now we are going to talk about prioritizing your route. You're going to make a list of your must-sees and want-to-see exhibitors. Don't worry, we haven't talked about that yet, but like I said, even if you're overly prepared, which you will be, the layout could have updated. So determine your route and hit the ground running. Those exhibitors are sitting in there eagerly waiting for you guys to get rolling. So before you arrive, depending on which show you're attending is going to range what days they take place. Some take place on weekdays, some take place on weekends. They'll typically run Tuesday to Thursdays, sometimes Wednesday to Friday, Thursday to Saturday, or Friday to Sunday. Either way, you're going to be pulled out of your business for a few days, whether you have to close the business for a few days or have your employees run the business for you while you're out. You should let your customers know that you're attending an industry trade show. Your customers are going to love that you invest your time and money on improving your business. It's further, proving that your worth as a retailer. You're going to set yourself apart from the competition. You're investing time and money to go out there and find out what's new, what can you improve, and that is a benefit to your customers, no doubt. But before you head out, be sure you actually talk to your customers. What do they want? What do they need? Where do they go elsewhere for? Maybe you can bring some more profit in from the same customers you already have. Sometimes those are the best ways to improve your business, is just helping your current customers. It's not always about gaining new customers, which we all love, but a lot of your business will come from people who already are loyal and trust you. Make this trip about them. This is going to help you on the show floor, guiding you to products and services that you might not have even thought to investigate otherwise. With all the information you gather from your customers, along with your industry interest and inquiries for attending the trade show, now you're attending with a purpose, and that's the whole point here, is to attend with a purpose. And don't overthink the reasoning behind what we're discussing. Just know what your customer wants, what keeps them happy and loyal, it's what they want. All right, now we're going to discuss a few action items, show floor manners and or behaviors, and we're going to keep a few tips in mind while we go through this. So circling back to what we were discussing earlier, which is arriving with a purpose. Know what you need to accomplish and make a list. As promised, let's discuss what our must-sees and want-sees list. No matter how much you plan, time is totally going to escape you, and you're going to find yourself wondering how you're going to accomplish all you had set out to do. Certain exhibitors are going to require more investment, more investigating. You're going to form laundry lists of questions that need to be addressed in person. So make sure that you research these exhibitors online. If you find that some of the exhibitors that you're looking at, you're not quite understanding, or maybe there's like a large piece of equipment that you want to purchase that you don't feel comfortable maybe talking, with tons of people around you, schedule appointments with them. Exhibitors love to square out time with customers if you're serious and you're going in there with a true purpose. So make sure you do your homework. Moving on here, bring plenty of business cards. Like we were talking about networking, there's going to be a tons of opportunity for you to talk to people, possibly make business partners. And these exhibitors talk to a ton of people. So you want to make sure that if it's something you need to touch base with them on, hand them your business card. That way they can actually have a tangible item to follow up with you on. And keep in mind that every booth you visit is going to try and sell you something. That's what they're there to do, is make money. So don't be alarmed when, they're trying to give you a show special or, kind of push you towards a product. If it's something you're not interested, if you're not there to actually purchase, don't worry about it. Just, say, keep a positive attitude, be polite, say no, thank you, and carry on. They're salesmen. They are totally used to people saying no. They in no way, shape, or form find that rude at all. And vendors are going to constantly be asking to scan your badge, and that's what you have it on there for. That's why we stress the importance at the beginning here about making sure that you pre-register with the appropriate information. You're going to talk to a ton of people, and you're going to have a ton of information that you're taking back home with you, and you might feel a little overwhelmed when you leave, but these vendors have, and exhibitors, they have a system where they're going to go back and they're going to follow up on everybody they talk to. So they will reach out to you. So maybe in your travels home, you lost a bag, you shoved one of their business cards in, and for the life of you, you can't remember what the company name was. It's no problem. They'll follow up with you. So definitely let them scan your badge. That's a benefit to you, if anything. And to keep yourself organized, make sure you bring yourself a bag or a binder, because you're going to be picking up tons of literature, promotional gatherings, and keep in mind you're dragging this around all day. You're going to drag it back to the hotels, so don't get too grab crazy. There's tons of stuff everywhere, like you're going to want to grab everything, but only take what's useful, not what's available. I've read an article that referred to it as adult trick-or-treating. So too much noise is going to, overwhelm and probably frustrate you later on. Remember, not only you have to carry it around, but you have to travel with it, take it home in that bag that you packed so lightly to take all these things home. Don't give yourself more work than what's necessary either. The more you collect, the more you're going to overlook, the more you're going to misplace, the more you're going to lose. And then that's truly going to take, maybe you lose that one item that would truly take your business to the next level. Going to change the slide here. All right. Another underlying theme we're going to have going on here is asking the right questions. You want to treat every moment like a learning opportunity. So as you've been told your whole life, there's no such thing as a dumb question, right? When I attend trade shows, I often hear the question, so what do you guys do? Perfectly valid question, but it's also a loaded question. I try my best to, speak slowly and concisely and, hitting all major benefits, but it's pretty hard to do, especially, if someone's passionate about the product that they're selling. They're going to start talking faster. They're going to start getting deeper into, their products and their services. And if you're just learning, that's going to be, very loud for you. So I just put a couple questions just to get you started here. Can the service or product profit your business? Ask what their best sellers are and why. Ask them what their target audience is, and then you can compare and see if you can meet in the middle, see if there's anything that can help you out. Explain your customer's number one issue. Do they have a solution for it? Do they, what's their customer service model? Do they offer training? Do they offer education? And inquire about their show specials and promotions. There could be a cheap, affordable deal out there that could get your foot in the door and get you rolling. All right, so we're back to seminars and classes here. I really think that this is the most underutilized benefit of attending a trade show. walking around the floor and talking to people and seeing and touching is, it's great, but these classes are there to really get you involved and get you started. Do yourself, do your business, do your employees, your customers a favor and take advantage of these funnels of knowledge. It's a guaranteed industry advancement. Remember that event guide. There's going to be an event guide that you're going to grab when you were back registering and getting your badge. You're going to grab your show map, and then there's a guide within that map that is going to list all of the classes and seminars. Oftentimes there's a keynote speaker before the show floor opens. So, wake up a little bit earlier, go check it out. It's all about making the most out of your experience here. Because as in anything, you get out what you put in, but you all know that, you're business owners. Be sure to explore these options before you arrive too. You don't want to be planning on site. When you pre-register, you'll have the chance to take advantage of discounted rates on seminars or package deals on classes. Explore the unknown. Maybe after day one of walking around the show floor and visiting with exhibitors, a new avenue sparked your interest, and there's a free class the next afternoon. Go check it out. You never know if something can mold its way into your business. Most show promoters don't allow selling during classes, so this is really a real education filled with tons of helpful information. The classes are a learning atmosphere. You're not sitting in on an infomercial. You could do that at home. You gain industry knowledge, tips, tricks. You see tons of creative ideas. And a huge piece to these education sessions is networking. All attendees are there for a common reason, to learn and expand their business. Though you're potentially sitting next to your competition, you may share the same challenges. Talk, network, see what's out there, find out what those competitors are doing that you're not doing, or vice versa. What are you doing that your competitors aren't doing? What's your competitive advantage? Stay relevant, stay competitive. The best thing you could do for your business. There's also after-hour education. It's more opportunity for more networking. You can hang back, let the crowds disperse, and sometimes the classes will offer, light snacks and drinks. It's usually kind of like a more relaxed atmosphere at the end too. So maybe if you didn't get to leave, half hour early like you planned on, just hang back a little bit more and check out those after-hour education sessions. Mingle. What you perceive as your competitors could be potential business partners. So what better time than now to talk about taking a break? We've gone over a lot of planning, a lot of, you're doing a lot of thinking, doing a lot of talking with your customers, with your employees, with your business partners. You're overwhelmed with information. Just make sure that you give yourself a break. You want to rest, regroup, reorganize, get some water. The convention halls are usually being pumped with air conditioning, and you're talking nonstop, it feels like. So stay hydrated. Be sure to step out, grab a light lunch or a snack. Food's offered at the convention center, but it's no secret that stuff is super expensive. You could definitely bring like some granola bars in your bag or something. Take a seat for 20 or 30 minutes, hit a nearby cafe for a change of scenery, just get off your feet for a few, and then you can go conquer the last half of your day. Take pictures. Be sure to ask before you start snapping flicks, but if you see any marketing ideas or a product you want to revisit after the show, or come across a company that you've learned about from the class that you sat in on, because you're all going to classes, right? You want to make sure that you don't forget that product or that company. So snap a couple pictures as a reminder. You'll be pleasantly surprised when you're scrolling through your camera roll and find something that you forgot to write down. All right. Now, last but not least by any means, the follow-up, post-show. This really starts at the show and continues when you come home and should end with your customer. As we've gathered all this information thus far, you're taking a ton in from every angle. So be sure to recap at the end of each day. go back to your hotel room or go out to dinner and go through all your gatherings. This is going to help you immensely in the long run when you get home. I suggest creating a follow-up list at the end of each day. Again, shrinking your workload when you return home. Just keep it simple. Your first day home, go through that bag. At least take the items out of the bag and put it in a place you're going to come across it and don't lose it. If you have employees, dump the bag and kind of let them take a look at what you've gathered. You know, I'm sure they're dying to know what you've learned and everything that you've picked up. If you do have employees, maybe they deal with customers face-to-face more than yourself, and their feedback is gold, super valuable. Just have discipline, give yourself a deadline for organizing those materials. I can't tell you how many attendees I talk to at shows that have even purchased things at shows and never touched them. I know it's hard, especially when you get back. You've been out of the office for a while. I'm sure you have orders and customers, but stay dedicated and you can do it. Be ready to contact your vendors as well. So through email and by telephone, be ready to contact them if you have questions, but also be ready for them to contact you. They're going to be reaching out to you through phone, email, and really it's going to help you stay on track, especially while things are fresh in your mind. Keep your show notes handy, you know, and keep in mind what phone number you put down. If you put down your shop phone number, keep your show notes at the shop, so then when they call and you're running around doing 20 other things, you're able to look back and remember what exactly was going on in your mind when you were at the show. But also make sure that you're really honest when those reps reach out to you. If you're too busy to talk, but you really want to explore their products and services, ask them to contact you at a different time or at a later date. You know, just remember that this is all about you. As you share this info with your team, share your feedback and your learnings with your customers. Give feedback to your customers about what new products or services they can expect in the near future. Coming full circle with your customer from asking their wants and needs and then following up with your findings will only solidify the relationship you have with them and increase their loyalty to your business, which will, you know, that's going to just snowball into positive word of mouth and recommendations, which is, you know, the best kind of business is when people recommend them to you. You're just building your brand, you're building your business, and that comes free of cost. This is before, you could have went to the show and not spent a dime except on your travel, and you know, that's a super valuable point on its own. All right, this brings us to the end of our webinar on tips for attending trade shows. If you'd like a copy of today's webinar, just visit the website. It'll be up there for you. Any questions we are not able to answer will be followed up via email, like I said earlier. If you have any questions you think of later, shoot us an email at info@transferexpress.com, and we'll definitely respond as soon as possible. Thanks so much for joining me today. It was my pleasure. And right here is our next webinar. It is on 4 P's of marketing. It'll be held Thursday, December 8th at 2 o'clock. All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.